Hey y'all, welcome back to Light Up the Woods, my YouTube channel. So this is part 2 of the dollar testimony. If you did not watch the first part of the dollar testimony, I'm gonna need you to go back and watch that video. And subscribe to this is what I'm saying. You gotta subscribe to this channel. But before I go into the second testimony, I'm gonna cue the intro so we can get it stuck in your head.
Light up the woods, light up the woods. One syllable at a time. Light up the woods, light up the woods. One video at a time. Light up the woods, light up the woods. One syllable at a time. Light up the woods, light up the woods. One video at a time.
Alright, so I'm going to start this testimony, but before I begin, I'm going to tell you a few background information things that should help you understand the story. So number one, I work for a company that sends me out to different schools, and I teach like specific classes, specific skills to these students. Now during the school year, we have a lot of work. So I'm working every day. I might go to multiple schools a day. I'm working some Saturdays. So I'm making pretty good money. I'm good, right? Number two, I just got my first apartment. Like that's mine on my own. And I am responsible for everything on my own. And it's the very end of the school year. All right, let's get into it. It's the end of the school year. I get this apartment. I move. I ask my bosses, hey, what's the summer looking like? Because I had another job that was offering me some summer hours. And I was like, what's the summer looking like? Because I'm trying to plan. Boss is like, oh, you'll be good. You'll be working at least 4 days a week. So you're going to be good. So I'm like, oh, we all set. 4 days a week, I'll be fine. Now, when I had moved out of where I was living before with this wonderful lady, she told me, do not buy all of your furniture in the beginning. I didn't listen, and I should have. And I bought all my furniture because I'm thinking I'm getting consistent checks. I'll be able to re-up. It's not going to be a problem. And I'm not an expensive shopper either. I like me a good deal, honey. Okay. I like me a discount. I like me a coupon. Yes. So I'm not buying nothing like crazy expensive. But I was just like, I need to furnish my home. So I bought everything at once. But I'm like, yeah, deplete the account. That's very bad financial decisions right there. Do not do that. Do not do that. Okay? Learn from me. Anywho. So, the school year ends. And I had like no work. And I was like, what happened to... I've declined this other job. And you done told me that I was going to be good. And I got no work. So I'm barely going to work. I have days that I'm just sitting at home like, yo, rent's about to be due. What's going on? So then I go into survival mode. I'm like, okay, so I got this in the cupboards. I got this, I got that. The little bit of work that I'm doing, I'm saving all that money so that I can pay my rent. I had very much like the last story, $1 in my pocket. I had $1 in my wallet. And this is around the time that ANWA, I found out about ANWA, and they were having the ANWA NYC Live with Matthew Stevenson. They were coming to New York once a month over the summer. And they were having these services. And bless your heart, okay? So this is my second time going. I have this $1 in my wallet. I had to work that day, which I was grateful for. I packed my snacks that I had in my house because we're not spending any money out here because we don't have it, right? We're broke. We're broke. Where's the camera? We're broke. We are broke. I got $1 in my wallet. And I'm holding on to that dollar because I'm like, one of these days I might really need it for train fare, or I might get really, really hungry, slide into the bodega, buy like a croissant or something to hold me over. So I'm keeping that dollar in my wallet. And I wake up that morning. I grab this chair that I had borrowed from my friend Nick. He's also important to the story, because to get into the service, it's a long line that starts lining up hours before the service. I take the chair to work with me, and luckily I wasn't working too far from the place where the service was being held, so I was like, clutch, I can walk there from work. So I get out of work, I got my backpack on, I got my chair in my hand, and I'm walking. I'm hot, I'm hungry, but I'm like, I got these snacks in my bag. Don't buy nothing with your last dollar. So I get to the place, I sit down. I unfold my chair. There's already a few people ahead of me in line, but I got a pretty good spot in the beginning. I'm sitting there, I'm reading my book, minding my business, just waiting for the however many hours I gotta wait. And this lady comes out, and she has an envelope in her hand and a card. And she says, hey, it's Pastor, I don't know which pastor, who pastor, what church. She said, it's Pastor's birthday. We're collecting an offering for him. Do you have anything to give? So I'm like, yeah. I reach into my wallet and I grab my last dollar and I gave it to her. And I said, happy birthday to Pastor. So I'm like, well, there she blows. It's okay. It's okay. Happy birthday. So fast forward, it's time to go inside. I go inside. Now, there's a lot of people, and sometimes if you come too late, you can't get in the building because it's past capacity and it's a fire hazard. So that's why we go early to get that spot. So me and all my friends who had joined me in the line, we go in, and two of my friends, Nick and Andre, they were a little late. So I'm like, y'all might gotta sit in the back because they don't let you in to the front if you're late, because that space is packed and you're not allowed to save seats. So I go and I sit with my friends in the row, and I had a jacket with me. So I had to use the bathroom. I take my jacket off and it lands on the seat next to me. Not on purpose. I go to use the bathroom. I guess as they're ushering people in, they thought that somebody was sitting there where the jacket was. So they didn't sit anybody there, so there's an open seat next to me. Nick calls me, he's outside. I'm like, oh shoot, we got this extra seat. So I'm like, yo, come through. So me and my friend Tashai, we kind of like squeeze onto one seat so that Nick and Andre can have the seats next to us. And Andre had to leave early anyway, so we weren't going to be stuck together like that the whole time. So the service starts, you know, we have praise and worship and all that good stuff. Then it's time for offering, and I believe it was Pastor Adrian Davis. If you know him, please send him this video. If you know Matthew Stevenson, please send him this video. So Adrian Davis gets on the mic and he does the prayer beforehand, and then they pass the bucket around, and they collect offering. And I'm just sitting there like, I wish I had that dollar, because if I had that dollar, I would put it in offering. I got nothing. So I swear I'm not making this up. They finished collecting offering, and then Adrian Davis, he's still on the mic, and he says, if there's anybody in here who has the desire to give but does not have, like you want to give but you literally don't have the money, you're struggling right now, stand up. And I popped up out of my seat. It almost felt involuntary, because it was crazy to me that he's literally saying what's in my head. I'm literally thinking, dang, I wish I had money to give, but I don't have any. I'm struggling right now. So I pop up, and I'm thinking it's going to be real churchy in here, where he's going to say, everybody raise your hands towards them, pray a prayer of provision and all that. So I'm ready to receive my prayer, my blessing, and sit back down, right? And he says, whoa. He says, if you have money to give, find someone who's standing up right now and put money in their hand. I sat right back down, because I am prideful and I don't want nobody giving me no money. But as I'm trying to sit down, my friend Nick, remember I told you he was important to the story? Knowing how gosh darn stubborn and prideful I am, grabs me by the elbow and pushes me back up. He said, nope, you're not sitting down. And I just started bawling, because I'm just like, I was crying out of appreciation, but also, like, if I'm being honest, out of my pride, because I don't want everybody to think I'm broke, even though I am. I don't want do you hear how ridiculous that sounds? God is literally providing in the moment, and I'm crying because I don't want anybody to know I'm broke, even though I am. How many of y'all done sounded as ridiculous as me? Yeah, be honest with yourself. Now, people start putting money in my hands, and I'm like, so then after a while, I'm like, that's enough. That's enough. And I sit back down, and all this money is in my hand. I just kind of like throw it into my backpack, because I couldn't fathom what just happened. That's not the kind of church that I'm used to. The norm is we pray for those who don't have. He was like, if you have, you could pray, but give them something. So I'm sitting down. This lady comes up behind me, and she says, hey, do you have a Cash App? I was ready to lie straight through my teeth and say I didn't, but I didn't lie. I said, yeah. And she's like, do you remember your handle? I was like, no. She was like, check your phone. I was like, okay. I give her my Cash App handle, and she Cash Apps me $50. Now, the reason the $50 was important to me is the last time I went, I came to the ANWA service. I remember feeling during offering that I should put $50 in the offering plate. So my first time there, I put $50 in the offering plate. Now that I'm in this financial predicament, this lady comes and she literally sent me $50. And I was like, son, you know when you just don't know how to feeling. I don't even like. Is there an amount of gratitude worthy for the moment? Is there an amount of thank yous worthy for this moment? I don't deserve this. But Jesus loves me, this I know, for my Bible tells me so. I get home and I count out the money and I had over $200. Here's the kicker. I always knew in the back of my head that if it really got that bad, my mama can send me some money on my account. The next day, so my mom is my lifeline, right? The very next day, I wake up to a message from my bank saying that somebody tried to use my card information in Maryland. And so they put a block on my card, canceled it, and they were going to send me a new one. My bank is not in New York, it's in Massachusetts. I'm not getting this card for another 10 days. I'm flat broke, and I just lost my connection to my lifeline, which is my mom. And God literally puts over $200 in my hand. And some people are going to say, well, it wasn't God, it was the people. No, you got to understand, God works through people. There's a reason that Adrian Davis was the one up there that day. There's a reason that God put it in his heart to say what he said and make happen what happened. There's a reason that those people felt inclined to put money in my hands. And that reason is Jesus. That reason is God. I do not deserve. And there is now one single correct amount of gratitude worthy for that moment. So later on that day, I called my friend Nick to kind of like explain to him what was going on in my brain, because it was a lot to take in that day. I tell him the whole story from the dollar to the part that he experienced himself. And he was like, you know, it's crazy how God knew to get that dollar out of your hand. I said, what? He said, if you had that dollar in your hand, you would have put it in offering. And you would not have stood up when they said to stand up. And I was like, nah, you right. Because I would have been real proud to take my little dollar and be like, I got offering. It's all I got, but I got offering. God knew to get that dollar out of my hands. And then he's like, he knew that he could trust you to release the dollar. I said, why Jesus got so much trust in me? But like real talk, he knew how to get that dollar out of my hand. Because if I still had it in my pocket, I was not going to stand up. Number 2, that empty seat next to me wasn't supposed to be there. It was a mistake. Nick wasn't even supposed to be sitting next to me. And had he not been sitting next to me, I would have sat down when he said what he said and missed the blessing because of my pride. But because Nick was sitting right there, he grabbed my elbow and made me stand back up. God is intricate. He is in every detail. He don't miss a beat. Okay? He even factors in our stupidity. No shade. I be a little dumb sometimes. And he factors all of that in. And that's my testimony, y'all. God be coming through for your girl. And I don't deserve it. Oh, Jesus, we thank you. That's it. Thank you. I pray that you can start seeing God's hand in your life. If you'd like to be on Testimony Tuesday and share something, please hit me up. I'm so very serious, y'all. Please hit me up. It don't have to be a crazy, intricate story. Okay, you saw my last dollar testimony. Found $1 on the floor. Be encouraged. God is working. Even if you don't always see it, He's working. Love y'all. Now, until I see you again, you have a duty to shine your light in this world. So, go on and light up the world. Bye.